story. Number 4 of the top 10 sportsmanship moments in football this year. This is the most amazing, really. It goes over to Spain and to Mexico and to LA and all over the place. A guy called Abel Rodriguez, a 41-year-old Mexican-American living in LA. When Real Madrid come to LA, he takes 2 weeks vacation to be a ball boy and pick up the cones and tidy up and so on. Every time they come, he does this. And he wanted to go and see Madrid, Barcelona for a long time, and he didn't have too much cash. He cleans floors for a living, and his wife said, "You must go because that great Barcelona team won't be around forever, and you know you're young enough to do it now." And he went without a ticket, and he arrives at Real Madrid, can't buy a ticket for love or money, and he's then asked anybody, and he's told them his story and what he does, and they just say no. And he's sitting down it's nearly snowing, in the freezing cold, not knowing what to do, when Mourinho comes out in his limo, and he spots him and recognises him and says, "Amigo, what are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I came to try, I can't get." He said, "But you can't get tickets, they're long sold out." And he said, "Well, what's your plan?" He said, "Well, my plan was, if I couldn't get tickets, I'd go down to the city and try and buy tickets for a higher price, and if I still can't, I'll fly home." End of story. And Mourinho said, "You come with me." And he put him in his hotel room. Mourinho moved out, and he said, "We got you tickets." Got him tickets into the dugout. He said, "You can be kit man as well, meet all the team, all that." And he said, "Hey, next Wednesday we've got to play Man United at Old Trafford. You're coming with us." And the Mexican-American Rodriguez said, "Well, I'm paying for it." He says, Mourinho says, "You pay for nothing when you're with me." So he was the bag man for that game. Brilliant. On the pitch. He even got the Mexican lad playing for Man U to give him his shirt. You know, little touches like that. You know, dream like stuff.
Well, and when you hear so much about Mourinho, and everyone talks about maybe the arrogance of the man, and how maybe he's got. Sometimes maybe his character gets not assassinated necessarily, but it's great to hear that someone who actually has done quite a bit for football and is quite, I think he is quite special in many respects, Jose Mourinho. To hear that side of him, which doesn't get publicised enough, is brilliant.
I've done an injustice to that story. You have to read it on the Facebook page. It's just stunning. You know, it goes on for about 10 minutes, and you'll be in tears reading it. It's beautiful stuff.
And just if I can interject, there was it's not as extreme as that. It's certainly not as generous as that. But there was a young Ipswich player who was formerly a non-league player. I don't know if you heard about this. And he was on a Twitter conversation with an Ipswich fan, and this lad has not played, I don't think, yet for Ipswich, but this fan was saying, and he said to him, "Oh, you're going to be at Portman Road today?" And he said, "Oh no, I can't make it. I'm skint. I've got to play." So this kid who used to play non-league football in the sort of West Country said, "Can you get to Portman Road?"
Yeah.
And the lad said, "Yeah, I can. Why? I've left 2 tickets in your name on the gate." And that sort of thing doesn't get publicised enough, Paul, which is what we can see on the website.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, we cover that on the Facebook page. We put one story on the Facebook page every day, but that story was beautiful, where he said, "I'm skint," and the man immediately clicked in and he could relate to it. Yeah, we don't hear those stories enough. So number 3 in the top 10 of sportsmanship moments in football this year goes to the 4th Division, Barnet FC. No less. In fact, they're no longer with us. They've been relegated, poor things. But Barnet FC's Edgar Davids, the Dutch legend, he's the player-manager at the age of 40, and he doesn't take a salary. Anyways, they're driving down the motorway after playing Accrington Stanley, and it's snowing, and they see a coach there on the side of the road, all their fans in the cold, and he orders the bus into the next service station, gets the players off the bus, goes back, picks them up, and brings them back to safety and heat while they get a replacement van, and they mingle with the players and have a burger and coffee, photographs, and just thought, it's the real league, as they said. It's not the plastic league, it's the real league, they said. So that's number 3. Number 2 is a magical moment that happened last October. Swiss football club BSC Young Boys, their fans, got to tip the cap to them. They travelled a long way to play Liverpool in the Europa League match, and they waited until half-time before they unrolled this wonderful 30-metre banner which read, "In memory of Hillsborough," in honour of the 96 the families of the 96 that died. And I thought it was just the generosity of fans. There's a lot of it that goes on, and that was magnificent for me. Here we are, number one. The best moment across the world of football in the 2012-13 season comes from Bosnia. There's a surprise for you. A football match between Muslim imams and Catholic priests, no less. And the thing about this, it's just a game of football. Now, these people were at war with each other 20 years ago, 100,000 people died, but they came together in the spirit of the brotherhood of football, and they played this game, a competitive game. It's on video, you can see it on the Facebook page. 5-3 final result, not really relevant. The crowd cheered for every goal at either end, and the crowd chanted, "Bosnia, Bosnia," at every goal at either end. They paid €1 to get into the game. They raised 4,000 people, so they raised €4,000 for a kindergarten school, and the two came together. So for me, it's about having a game of football, and that's what those guys did.